Okay, I've got myself a selection of wire and heat shrink. So what I'm going to do now is run a new 12 volt power, ground and signal wires from the plug through the loom and up to the rough place for all 6 coils. I'll then splice power and ground together, splice the 2 signal wires, because 1 signal wire from the ECU will drive 2 coils, lay it all out, splice them together, crimp them up, plug them in and rewrap the loom up.
Time after time you're always right. Whoa. You never chase yet hold me tight. Wow. Give me up, give me up.
So I'm using red and black here for power and ground. The original Mitsubishi wiring used black with a white stripe for power for these coils. So I'm doing away with this. I could splice it in here, you know, to chop these off, but I think it's nicer just to run fresh wire all the way back to the plug. I'm then not using 20-year-old wiring. I'm using nice new stuff. So now I just need to, now I've got my length for my power and ground, get lengths for my signal cables, and I'm going to stagger the joints down here so that there's not a big bunch of joins all together.
Time after time you're always right. Whoa. You never chase yet hold me tight. Wow.
Right, I've now got those all cut down roughly to length. So next thing I'm going to do is start putting the wires into the connectors. So let's start with, let's say, the power. So the way I'm going to do this, I've got these ratcheting style crimpers. So you put the wire in, squeezes together, and it pulls off a little bit of the insulation. So wire in, I want to take off about 8mm focus. So you squeeze and off comes the end. And then from this impossibly small packet, so first then is a little rubber sealing boot. So slide that onto the wire. Then I've got these ratcheting crimpers. What I like to do first is put them into the tool, give the ends a little squeeze first. Put it into the tool the right way round would help. It can be a bit fiddly, especially when you've not done it for a few months, like I have. And then just catch it on the first click so that it holds it. Then feed the wire into the back, and then when you're in, crimp it all the way down, and you're left with a nice strong crimp. nice strong crimp. That'll then get pushed into the back of this. The little rubber silicone bit will go down in the hole and it will seal it together quite nicely. Right, double checking the pin out before I go any further. It clicks into place nicely. And then the boot pushed down to make a nice seal. Nice watertight seal there now. So that's one. Just need to do that for all the rest. Times 6. Right, that's all the wires crimped and inserted into the connectors. You'll notice I also added a smaller black wire to each of them. That is the signal ground. I'll be tying that in with the grounds as I splice them together. And that is the next task. What I'm going to do, because I'm using a black wire for the signal for this one and this one over here. Originally that was black with a blue stripe, I think. Yep, black with a blue stripe. And the red was red with a black stripe. I'm going to add to the wire a small piece of black and blue heat shrink every 10 centimeters or so, and that will allow me to identify which wire this is in the loom. So I will see that it's a black and blue or a red and black and know where they are. What I'm going to do next is going to cause a debate, because I now need to join all these wires together. Some people will not like what I'm doing, some people will argue for it, some people argue against it. I am going to solder these cables together. Comment section, go. Crimping might be the better way. Soldering is equally good enough. This is not going to be going through a huge amount of vibrations, I hope. I have a number of other soldered connectors on this loom where I've spliced the original Mitsubishi loom. As yet, they've not failed. So I'm going to stick to what I know. I don't have any crimps that are suitable for joining these wires together, but I know that I can solder them together, so I'm going to solder them. And it's my car, and I don't care really. So yes, crimping may be the better way of doing it for certain applications, but I'm soldering, so let's go. So that's the main bit of splicing done for the power and ground on both sides. Next thing will be to route this bank round and through and down to here, and then join the powers, the grounds and the 3 signal wires together. That's those all spliced together. Next, need to put them into the connector.